So for the ricotta sauce, I'm going to put 1 cup of cashews into a saucepan. I'm going to bring it to the boil, and then I'm going to simmer it for 15 minutes just to soften the cashews up. Right, onto the marinara sauce, and then we'll come back to the ricotta sauce. So for the marinara sauce, we're just going to chop up 1 small onion. When the onion is nice and soft, add 4 teaspoons of garlic powder or garlic granules. One teaspoon of oregano. Sorry, that was a teaspoon of parsley. Here's the teaspoon of oregano. A sprinkling of salt. A dash of black pepper. Stir it all in. And then add 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. Give it all a good stir. And then add half a cup of stock. And I use gravy granules for this. 1 teaspoon is enough. 1 teaspoon of gravy granules to half a cup of hot water makes a nice stock to add to this. I'm just going to let this simmer now for 20 to 30 minutes until it's really nice and thick. And meanwhile, I will get back to the ricotta sauce. And the first thing I'm going to do is, the cashews have been simmering for a quarter of an hour, so I'm just going to strain them first, and they will be nice and soft to go into the sauce. So I'm now going to mix all the ingredients in the food processor for the ricotta sauce. First of all, put 14 ounces or about 400 grams of silken tofu. Then add the soaked cashews to the food processor. Wait until they cool down, obviously don't put them in when they're boiling hot. 1 cup of spinach. A couple of tablespoons of lemon juice or the juice of 1 lemon. A tablespoon of miso. And I've got this white miso here, which is very nice, and 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and I use the one with the added vitamin D and super B12. I don't know what super B12 is, but vitamin B12 anyway. It's always good to get the fortified to make sure you have enough vitamin B12, because you don't naturally get it in food. And then 3 teaspoons of garlic powder. I'm not going to add salt because nutritional yeast is quite salty, but if you like your food saltier, then you could always add some salt. I'm just going to add a dash of black pepper now. Half a teaspoon of onion powder. Half a teaspoon of dried basil. Half a teaspoon of oregano. About 2 tablespoons of fresh basil leaves. And a tablespoon of olive oil. And then mix it until it is smooth in a food processor. So here it is, smooth but not completely smooth. There's still a little bit of texture. So this is ready to stuff in the pasta shells. The marinara sauce is done now. It's beginning to stick a little bit on the bottom of the pan, so I know that that is cooked, and that's taken about 25 minutes to do that. So I'm going to let that cool. I've brought a pan of water to the boil, and these are really big shells. Look at the size of these. 12 ounces of really big shells, pasta shells. So the shells have had 15 minutes simmering, and I'm just going to strain them now. And then what I'm going to do is rinse them in cold water so they're nice and cold to handle for the assembly. So in my dish of about 9 by 13 inches, I am going to use Vitalite to grease the bottom of the dish and around the sides, just to prevent any sticking later on. Then with the marinara marinara sauce, I'm going to cover the bottom of the dish with the marinara sauce. Then, using 2 teaspoons with the ricotta sauce, fill each shell. I think it's about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons per shell, and place them in the dish. So there it is, full up. They do look a little bit snug in there, to be honest, but that's fine. That will help them keep their shape. And that's going to be enough for 4 people. So I'm now going to put this mozzarella, melting not cheese, this dairy-free, plant-based mozzarella-like cheese on top. So I've cut this pretend mozzarella cheese into strips, and I'm just placing it on top now. And then drizzle with some olive oil. Just lightly, she says. I'm now going to cover it with tin foil. There we go, that's ready to go in the fridge. And then this evening I'll take it out of the fridge. I'll preheat the oven to 170 degrees centigrade fan, or it's also 190 centigrade, 375 Fahrenheit, and I think it's gas number 5. I'll double check that and put it on the screen. Once the oven's heated, I will bake it like that with the foil on, for 25 minutes, and then I'll remove the foil and bake for another 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll cool it for 5 minutes and sprinkle with fresh basil. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy these recipes as much as I do. See you in the next video. Bye!